And our next guests are the founders of The Dipper, a platform that connects professionals of color, helping employers and employees navigate diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in the workplace. Let's welcome Jacinta, Mathis, and Netta Jenkins.
Hello. How does Dipper work? How did it start?
Yeah, well, we're so excited about Dipper because it's really that platform that provides a safe digital space for professionals of color. How we got started is, I have a pretty large following on LinkedIn, about over 10,000 followers, and there are so many people that are asking for advice, and specifically professionals of color. Especially with things that are going on within the workplace around implicit bias, microaggressions, and upward mobility. And so Jacinta and I worked together for quite a long time, and we got together and we talked about it. And we came to the conclusion that there was an absolute need. People want a safe space to be able to share their experiences, and we want to see businesses improved. So that's how Dipper came to life.
Absolutely.
So are employers able to see the criticism that folks have for their companies?
Well, employers are able to see the positives and the negatives. So we want to paint the full story. This is not a platform for just folks to vent on. It's one that we want, to really be about accountability and solutions.
In our relationship that we had in the workplace, really, we wanted this technology platform to be able to mirror that. So we would vent to each other, but we would also challenge each other to come up with solutions or how to better encourage our employer to come up with solutions to provide a more equitable workplace and more inclusive, and also spaces for us to get promotions and grow and develop and gain more knowledge in different fields and areas.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't think anybody will publicly say equality and inclusion are bad, whether it's politically incorrect or it's something they genuinely believe in, right? They're not going to say, I'm against this. However, inequality is everywhere, right? Lack of inclusion, it's still everywhere. What do you think it's something the society can actually do, not just, cheap talk, whatever, to make this situation a little bit better?
Yeah, I think for us, one thing that Netta and I really lean on is legacy and kind of looking back, learning from what has happened in our history, what has happened in our culture, and how can we evolve from that. The whole premise of Dipper being formed was based off the legacy of my late father and how he chose to make certain professional strides to provide more equitable workplaces. But there are thought leaders that have done what Netta and I are doing, but are retired. And so, but currently there's no space for us all to be in together and share knowledge with one another and learn from each other on what were the challenges and how did you get through them? How did you approach this specific issue in your workplace? And then also how are companies and workplaces taking positive actions? Some people are doing really well, and we're hearing that from our members. And so it's kind of learning what are they doing well and can other companies mirror those activities.
When people get together, and this sounds so bad, but when people get together, what I've seen is a lot of times it turns into a complaining session. It's like, this is bad, that's bad, okay, everything's bad, done. And then you don't actually get to the fixing it
part, of the issue.
Right? How do you make sure something is being done as opposed to, okay, let's vent about it, it feels great for a day, and then, we go back to normal 24 hours later.
Absolutely. So what we're doing is we're pinging the companies. We're having conversations with them, and we're saying, okay, well, there's a certain amount of reviews from folks, from professionals of color that feel a certain way. And so we're giving them data. We're giving them measurable solutions. And I think that's the gap. A lot of companies right now, they're so focused on what I like to call aesthetic diversity, right? Okay, let's put a couple faces and we're diverse. That's not the way to go. And so we're definitely changing, and Dipper shifts that movement.
And what kind of data are you giving them?
We're giving them data in terms of just how people are feeling, what they're saying, like core data.
Well, that's the thing.
that.
Feelings are very hard to quantify.
Right.
Like, what scales do you have? Like, if I feel, my work is being neglected because of my skin color versus my ability, how do you quantify it? Because it's possible that I'm just not good at my job.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And that is
Yeah,
a
that's
real
accurate.
possibility, you know. And so what we have done is created buckets where community members are able to go in today and kind of classify, I'm dealing with microaggressions in the workplace. Right. Am I dealing with the inability to grow and be promoted? And, you know, typically we haven't really seen data that represents people of color in specific categories such as that. So is it, you know, I'm dealing with a hostile manager? Am I just dealing with I keep becoming senior or associate, but not ever like moving to the next phase?
Right.
You know, specifically quantifying that and then understanding too, would you recommend this workplace? Like we hear a lot about NPS and companies looking at that, but where's the ENPS for people of color in your workplace? And, you know, how likely are you to refer someone else to come work where you work? And I think that's something that Netta and I had in our personal network. And we were like, this needs to be at scale. Like we need to get thousands of people doing this. We talked to a Black man working in tech in Ireland who was like, yes, we need this. We hear from people in China, you know, all over the world. This is something that needs to be represented, and we're looking to do that at scale.
And you mentioned really quickly about coding. A lot of times for African Americans and most people of color in the workspace, they feel like they're have to be two different people, both a professional as well as just who they are. Yeah. Is there any feedback that you've gotten from anyone that conversations?
That's interesting. I know growing up, Netta and I both experienced it, and my mother used to always early on told me about the term bidialectalism, which I'm not even sure. I've never really heard it used. But it's just being able to exist and thrive in various spaces. And sometimes those various spaces may even cause you to have to represent different dialects, you know, and I think this is something people of color are doing every day. Right. But Netta and I feel like be yourself, like be your authentic self. And that is when you're really able to open up space to create innovative ideas at companies. You know, we have both created products and services for organizations we've worked for that have generated millions of dollars in revenue. And maybe we did it with a nose ring, you know, maybe we did it with red lipstick.
A little hairpiece, right?
With some extensions. Like, that's fine. That's who we are. Did you want to? Sorry.
Yeah, no. I think I was spot on. She got passionate with it.
I know, sometimes it happens.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jacinta, Jacinta Mathis.
I love how you merge it so. If we had a child, it would be Janetta.
Janetta Jenkins.
All right. Good luck. Good luck with what you do. It's very important.
Thank you so much.